Det här är en intervju mellan Alexandra på livsenergi och författaren Gabrielle Bernstein som är aktuell i Sverige med boken Attraktionskraften. Gabby eller Gabrielle är inspirationsföreläsare och livscoach som blivit en förebild för miljoner människor runt om i världen. I vårt samtal berättar hon om vad det kan innebära att vara en andlig aktivist. Om hennes egen inre resa från smärta till hjärta. Och så ger hon oss sina bästa tips för att höja sin frekvens. Med sin senaste bok vill hon hjälpa människor att inse sin storhet och möjlighet att attrahera det liv vi önskar. Hello, Gabby.
Hi, it's so nice to be with you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you here with us at Livsenergi. So we are actually about to launch the second book that you wrote in our little publishing house, and this is called the Super Attractor.
Yes.
So it's quite new, isn't it?
It's 2.5 months old. It's been out for 2.5 months, and it's I think one of the top 2 books I've written. I'm very proud of this book. And
that's so nice to hear.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that. You're proud of it, and why is that, and how did it come about?
You know, people have been asking me a lot lately, why did you write this book? My response very quickly has been because I wanted to feel good. So it's been amazing to see what the book did for me personally. It made me feel really good to write it, made me feel good to reread it, to read the audio and all of that. And the opportunity to share it has been so exceptional because what I'm witnessing is readers all throughout the world feeling elevated by the content and the practices in the book. So it's been a very special journey of sharing the message and seeing the intention of that message coming through the pages.
That sounds really nice. Can you tell us a little bit more? What is it about really, and what do you want the readers to take away from it?
Super Attractor is about getting into the alignment with positive energy so that you can be a magnet for what you desire. When we feel good, we attract more. We attract what we want into our life. It's really the law. That feeling of being connected to something greater. Then we can really strengthen our belief system that we're worthy of receiving, change our perspective and our mindset, and then in effect change our energy. And when our energy shifts into a positive frequency, that's when we start to become what I refer to as a super attractor.
Yeah.
So this is all about how to release any blocks to the presence of that power and how to tune up to that super attractor power.
I mean, anyone could actually say this more or less and you know, just feel good, and you will feel even better, and you will attract what you want. But coming from you, I mean, you had quite a history in your life with lots of challenges and not the super highway. So coming from you, this book really is something special. Can you tell us a little bit of where you're coming from and how did you become this spiritual go-to person?
Yeah, I've had a lot of different experiences in my life that have been what would be expected as very difficult experiences, such as drug addiction and choosing to get sober, and trauma from the childhood. And also, most recently, I experienced postpartum depression and anxiety. So I'm aware of what it feels like to be on the dark side, but it's my spiritual faith and the practices that I write about and teach about and speak about that have saved my life time and time again, and have continuously guided me back to the faith that there is much, much more beyond my physical sight, so that I can continue to be a super attractor even when I'm going through tough times.
Yeah. It takes some gut and courage to come this far.
Yes, I agree with you. It does. I think it's brave to face difficult things. It's definitely courageous. I think that having a spiritual foundation makes it safer, makes it not necessarily easier, but more faithful along the way. Yeah.
How did you find your spiritual path? Was it always with you, or how did you come in contact with that?
When I was a child, my mother was introducing me to meditation and mantras, and I was named by her guru, and I was introduced to a spiritual world. Then my mother taught me to meditate when I was 16.
Yeah.
Then I turned my back on it for many years, went to college and started to use drugs and alcohol and separated myself from that connection, only to get sober at 25. And in my sobriety was when I reclaimed my spiritual faith. Reconnecting to that spiritual practice and feeling back into alignment. So, and then in my recovery, I've continued to just be a spiritual teacher, carrying the message of what I've experienced in my own life.
Yeah. You are often referred to as a spiritual activist.
Yes.
What does it mean, you think?
Well, it means that my mission is to wake up as many people as possible to a relationship to a higher power of their own understanding. When people raise their own energy and raise their vibrational frequency and become super attractors, they become kinder, more compassionate, more loving. They put out an energy that's more, that's much more positive, and in effect that has a rapid effect on the world. If more and more people began to think with the thoughts of love, how different would our world be?
Very. Following you for a while now, I have understood that affirmations seem to play an important part of your life, right? Yeah. So can you just tell us, because this is also interesting to me personally, how would you describe an affirmation, and at what point did you understand its power, and how do you use them?
It's a belief system. It's a thought form that makes you feel good, that you want to affirm so that you can begin to embody it. When we affirm a positive belief system, it starts to change our energy. It changes our makeup. It changes our attitude. And that shift in our attitude is what is the shift in our receptivity. And so when we start to attract what we desire, and we start to see invisible doors opening for us. And most importantly, when we feel good. So using a positive affirmation allows us to continuously affirm and affirm and affirm how we want to feel rather than the way that we have defaulted into.
I have heard you just, deliver affirmations and prayers, like on a, how do you say, when, the water is, right? Yeah. It just comes out of your mouth. How do you create them? How would you say that we can create them? Where do you use them, and how often?
Well, listen, I channel when I teach. So I let a spiritual connection move through me. So the ability to just let that love move through me allows an affirmation to come forth that's appropriate for who's ever asking for it. I also perceive myself in many ways as a prayer giver. In my book, The Universe Has Your Back, I give so many prayers, and in Super Attractor. And there's countless affirmations all throughout Super Attractor. These messages are messages that you can take from the book, and you can apply them in your own life and find one that makes you feel good and affirm it daily. That would be enough.
Yeah. Is there any affirmation that is especially dear to you right now?
I am well.
I am well.
Yeah.
As simple as that. But powerful. So, in an interview with Lewis Howes, you mentioned how happy you were to regain contact with your mediumship.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
What is the biggest treasure you find in contact with the spirit world?
The sense of certainty that you're always being guided. A sense of certainty that you are, that there is a connection to, that you're never alone, that I'm never alone, that I have support, that I can expand time, that invisible doors will open for me, that solutions are available to me because I'm not alone in it. And it also offers me the ability to live in a surrendered way.
Yeah. How do you cultivate that connection?
For me, it's through prayer and meditation. And I would really, this is what I talk about in the book as well. It's through prayer and meditation that we connect. So when you pray, you ask for spirit to help you. When you meditate, you listen and you receive that guidance. That practice of prayer and meditation is how we stay in that connection.
So, I mean, it's easy not easy, but many times we want to stay here all the time, aligned, but we don't, because we live in this normal world where you get out of alignment and you get stirred up and, you fall out of alignment. So how do you keep yourself aligned, composed, and true to yourself?
Well, first of all, I don't measure my success based on how aligned I am all the time. I measure it based on how quickly I come back to the alignment.
Yeah.
So it's about being consistent with your practices. It's about staying in your faith, and it's about commitment. So for me, commitment looks like daily meditation, daily prayer, constant prayer throughout the day when I'm feeling like, just starting to think about the fact that I was, started eating these, like, I don't eat sugar, but I started eating these like stevia sweetened cookies, and I was like, these are good, but they're probably not that great for me. And I just started to pray, okay, thank you, God or universe, for helping me change this habit, right? So you don't have to always do it yourself, and that's the gift of prayer. And then listening through meditation, really allowing that new pattern to set in.
I saw your newsletter today about your generous gifts of meditations and etc. for the angels.
Yes.
It was really nice.
Good. I'm glad you liked that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. So do you have a quick fix to share with us what to do when we found ourselves out of alignment?
When we find ourselves out of alignment, they can use this method that I have in the book called the Choose Again method.
Yes.
The first step of the Choose Again method is to notice your negative thoughts and how they make you feel. Mm-hmm. Then the second step is to forgive yourself for having that negative thought. Mm-hmm. Let yourself off the hook for it. And the third step is to choose again. That means reaching for the next best feeling thought, reaching for a thought that feels good, reaching for a thought that you believe in, just continuously reaching and grabbing onto that next best thought. Mm-hmm. And when you practice this regularly, you start to get into the pattern and the habit of undoing the fearful thoughts and reclaiming a new way of perceiving your life. Mm-hmm. It's a very powerful practice, very powerful.
Wonderful. And that's an easy one to remember as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're soon ending 2019 and we are going into a new decade and 2020.
Mm-hmm.
What is your outlook on the new year and the decade?
Okay. Well, I haven't had much I haven't really reflected on the decade much. It's hard that you're catching me on off guard with the decade reflection.
Maybe that's good because you're here now, and
it really is. I'm not hung up on what was actually anymore. I'm really not. I'm just really focused. Actually, that's a really good reason why. I agree with you completely. My intention right now is to just stay healthy. I want to have another baby. I want to continue to teach. My primary intention with everything I do is to teach. So I would like to create more and more opportunities to be a teacher, or really just stay connected to the magnificent opportunities I've been gifted, and really focus and give my all to everything that I have said yes to.
If we look from another perspective and just look at the world and the awakening, the trends that we can see in the spiritual world and the level of awakening where we are, what do you think? Where are we going? Where are we heading?
Well, Yogi Bhajan, the Kundalini master, said something pretty serious in his before his prophecies of where we would be now, and he said 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. He said 1/3 will go mad. Mm-hmm. 1/3, I don't even want to say it, but he said will take their life. Mm-hmm. Because it's going to be difficult times. And then 1/3 will wake up, is what he said. Mm-hmm. So my prayer, my hope is that there's more and more of an awakening. Mm-hmm. People continue to see that shifting occurring in their life and wake up to that truth within them.
Yeah, let's hope for that.
I really hope for that.
So you want another baby. Tell us, it's just a year since you had your son, Oliver is his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How has your life as a mom been?
My son has been my greatest teacher because I've had the opportunity to just hit rock bottom with postpartum depression, and then come out of that with a really incredible level of appreciation for life. Sometimes when we have the most difficult moments in our life, we can come through them and say, wow, I can live more freely now. And I can. And so that's a great gift. And my son offers me something that's probably the most challenging for me, because I've had trauma in my history. And I watched Peter Levine, this excellent trauma therapist, say that the definition of trauma is someone who has the inability to be present. And I really understood that very deeply. And that's why I was always so connected to my spiritual practice, because it was the place I had to work for presence. I had to work hard to live in presence. Mm-hmm. So my son is another incredible teacher and guide to do my best to practice presence no matter where I am. And it's tough. It's tough to be present, but it's something it's my hope and prayer that I will be a fully present mother, wife. I know I'm present as a teacher. The place I'm the most present is when I'm on stage or when I'm teaching. Most present in those spaces.
Yeah. It's difficult to be anything else. That would really show off.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. But most importantly, I need to be present with my child.
Yeah, definitely. So, in a recent Instagram post, you say, your power lies in your ability to shift your energy. This is a statement that really speaks to me, and I think it does to you too. Can you elaborate on this
Yes, of course. Just really, really opening up to the fact that we have the power to really co-create the life that we want to have, the life that we believe we're worthy of. When we shift our energy through the practices that I share in Super Attractor, then we're all vibrational beings. So when we change our energy to a more positive frequency, we're vibrating at a positive frequency, then we attract more positivity into our life. So we can really begin to dictate the way that we experience life when we change our energy.
So true.
Right? Yep.
Yes. I have a couple of short questions just to get some snappy answers. Mm-hmm. So, do you have a life motto?
Be kind.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So hard sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think that, I'm lucky that I have to start to, I'm lucky that I have this responsibility that I've created for myself, which is to be a teacher. So I have to practice what I preach.
Yeah.
And that allows me to really try to focus more and more on what is kindness and how can I show up with my best.
Where do you live right now?
I live most of the time in the countryside, but I also have a home in New York City that I go to twice a month.
And the countryside is close to New York?
Upstate, yeah, 2 hours from New York.
Ah, yeah. What do you love to eat? I mean, you love food, you love cooking, you love nutrition.
I like making this Mediterranean chicken that I've been making lately. I'm going to make it tonight for my son. Mm-hmm. He loves it. I love cooking, really anything. I cook risotto, I cook paella, I cook everything. Mm-hmm. But I eat no sugar and I lay off dairy, and I'm pretty clean with my diet.
Mm. But you still like some nice tastes.
Oh, everything has to have flavor, of course. You can do so much with vegetables and protein, and you can do a great job there.
Yeah, definitely. So, except cooking, what do you love to do? Do you have a hobby on the side?
I love to exercise.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Pilates and just movement. I need to move. I like to read spiritual and psychological books. Mm-hmm. So I mainly read nonfiction. Lately, I'm reading a lot of books by excellent therapists and psychiatrists. I love to, in the summertime, be outdoors in any way that I can. And I love to be with my friends. I have the most excellent friends. And I think where I feel probably sometimes the most free and safe is when I'm with my friends.
Mm. Do you have a favorite author?
I do. One of my favorite authors is my friend, Dani Shapiro. She's a beautiful memoirist, and I think that she's one of the most beautiful writers I know.
Mm. Any special book from her that you come back to?
Well, her most recent book is excellent. It's called Inheritance. It's an unbelievable book.
Inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I will look it up. You also have a special connection to Marianne Williamson.
Yes, Marianne's a longtime friend.
Yeah. Tell us about your connection to the A Course in Miracles.
Well, I thank Marianne for being my introduction to the Course and for doing such a beautiful job interpreting the principles of the Course in such a easy to understand way. It's her gift. It's her great gift. I became a student of A Course in Miracles when I was 25. I really started to decide how I wanted to interpret the principles in my own way to a new generation of seekers. And the Course has been a through line throughout my life. And the Course is really based on the principle of forgiveness is what creates a miracle. And practicing forgiveness, self-forgiveness, forgiveness of others, I understand very deeply now more than ever. For many years, it was something that I practiced. Now it's something that I live. It's very deeply in me now.
Yeah. Have you been able to forgive yourself?
Oh, hell yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. I love myself. I think I'm amazing. I'm very proud of myself. I know that might be very jarring for a European audience because I'm not even making a joke. It's different culture. You know, Americans, it's easy. For even Americans, it's hard for them to say that I love myself, right? But it's something that I'm saying very point blank. I think I'm amazing. And I say that because I'm proud of myself, because I've been brave, because I've been kind, because I've created good in the world. And I want people to be able to start to claim that more for themselves, to be able to say unapologetically, publicly on a radio interview, I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I want to hear people say it. If you're in your seat now listening, say, I'm amazing.
I'm amazing. I feel the same. I really hope that we will see more of this.
Me too.
Let's work on it.
Yes.
You know, do you have a hidden talent that you can tell us?
That's a good question. I can ride a unicycle.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
One wheel?
That's right.
How did you learn that and why?
When I was younger, I took a circus arts program when I was in elementary school. Started to learn how to ride the unicycle. Then my parents got me one and I was a unicycle rider.
Oh, that's so funny.
Funny. Yeah.
Good. So I have one thing that I actually, you are a true inspiration to millions of people over the world. Am I right?
I believe you are.
Yeah. How does that feel? Does it keep
I think
you grounded?
It's starting to hit me. I think it's starting to hit me for right now more than ever. I'm, walking through the streets of cities and people come to me crying and things. And for a long time, I've just sort of been kind of blew it off, but more and more, not blew it off in the sense I would take it in and I'd be so grateful that my work has served people, but I wasn't fully accepting the magnitude of what that meant. And now I'm really taking it in. I'm also taking on the recognizing the responsibility of that.
Yeah, it is quite a responsibility.
It is, yeah.
So when I met you in Stockholm, it's 2 years ago, I could really feel a lot of people in the audience, they really look up to you, and you are a front figure for a new generation of spiritual leaders, I would say.
Yes.
Even though you are super friends with Deepak Chopra and everyone, it's not that you're going a different way. It's just, new faces, new approaches, etc. You're doing it in a fabulous way. I really want to say that to you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for bringing my work out into a new audience, into a new country. It's just such a privilege. I'm so grateful for you.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you want to share with your friends here in Sweden?
I guess I would just say I'll come back. I'll be back. I'd love to see you all again.
Wonderful.
I would love to say that if I really believe in this book, so if this interview is inspiring people, I hope that they will take the journey with the book, because it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book. I'm proud of it. I really am.
It is a beautiful book, and you share a lot of your personal experiences, which you always do, which is super inspiring, I would say. And you also share a lot of practical tools that we can use in order to get to this goal.
I do. I share a lot of personal stories, and I think that's what really helps people.
I believe so too. Gabby, I'm going to let you go to share the rest of your day in New York with your family and friends, and it's just right before Christmas. So enjoy a fantastic, fabulous holiday.
You too. You too. Really do.
Thank you. So let's speak again.
Definitely.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.